Continuing on with lesson 7, sorry about the abrupt change. We are now at the top of page 226. Oh, sorry, I'm at the bottom of 225. And I have selected my Safari Zoo text, and I have changed it to 36 points. We really want 37 points, so instead of using the drop down, because it doesn't go to that, I'm just simply going to hit the up to increase it to 37, the size to 37 points. Now, the text box resized so that all the text fit, but it extended down vertically. It didn't go horizontally. So we're going to resize the box so that everything fits, and we're simply going to drag out so that Safari is all on one line. Grab from that middle point. That made the bottom thing disappear here. So this is no longer an edit till, well, it took away the little thing at the bottom. We can put that back, which makes it so that we can resize the box. We don't want that. We want it to resize automatically, so I'm going to double click, get rid of that, and I want my box to be back to just fit the text. Okay, so we're going to quit with that one for the moment. We're going to do some more with it later, just so that we have the text on 2 lines, and auto size is now turned off for the text area. We're going back over to find Zoo Tails, which was at the top of the the top of the artboard. And so I'm going back up to that, and I'm going to click on that to select it, and we want to change this to a 74-point font. So I'm going to type in 74, hit enter, and the text has gotten quite huge. It's much larger than I need it to be, so I'm going to pick it up with my selection tool and drag it, or it's off the board is what I should say, and I'm going to drag that down so that it's on the top of the artboard, and that looks a little better than what I had before. It's about right for placement wise. That's pretty good to where we want it to be anyway. Now, leave that selected. The text object resized. It was point type, remember, so the text object resized for it. Doesn't have that little thing hanging down here, but it resized because it's point type. You can change the appearance of type by applying fills, strokes, and more. So we're going to change the stroke and then the fill of the text we have selected right now. Now, we have the text object selected with the selection tool. We're going to go to the stroke color, which right now is none. We're going to change that to having a white stroke. We don't really see the text stroke because we're on a white background, but it's going to be white. We also want to change this to a 2-point stroke, so just click that up and you can see your text is changing. Now, we're good with that one. When we bring up the background, things will change. We want to click on the text in the threaded text box, grab your text tool and select that text. Just click in it. And we're going to do a Control or Command A, which is the shortcut for select all. And on this text grouping, we are going to change the fill color to white. Okay, so from black, we're going to make it disappear. It's going to go to white. And change the font size. We want a 15-point font. Now, right now it's really small. It was a 5.9. On the drop down, we don't have a 14-point. You can click 14 points and then increase the size to 15, or you can just simply type it in up in the control panel up here, and it will change. Again, you're going to go to select, deselect, because we don't want everything selected. Now, with the selection tool, you're going to shift click the two text boxes at the bottom. So I'm just scrolling down, get my selection tool. I'm going to click on Safari Zoo, and I'm going to hold on my shift key and click on Thursdays at 6:30. And we are going to change the fill color on those also to white. Again, we're back to white on white, so we really aren't seeing anything, but we're going to turn on the other layers so that we can see them. Just click off to the side to deselect, and then go to File again and Save. Next, we are going to change some other text attributes. I'm in the middle of page 227. We can change other text attributes in the character panel, and we can access that by clicking on the word text. So let me select this again, and oh, I'm sorry, we do want that deselected. I just want to go to character in the control panel, which isn't showing right now. You can go to Window, Type, and select character, and that's going to bring up the character panel for you. There's a page 227 has the breakout for what everything is on that page, please, or on that panel. Please look that over. You have multiple kinds of selections in there. We're going to apply some of those multiple attributes and experiment with the different ways you can format text. So for right now, you can close that. We don't need that open at this moment, but we are going to open up the Layers panel, and you're going to click to turn on the background layer and the tails layer and make them visible. Now you're going to be able to see the text that we were working with that we turned to white. Moving on to the top of page 228, if you pick up your text tool and you want to, let's go to View, and let's fit Artboard in Window, and you'll be able to see both of the artboards. You want to take your text tool and click in the text objects that are threaded, and go to Select and select All. We want now to pick up the character panel. So up at the top in your control panel, click on Character, which will bring that dialog box up, and click the down arrow to the left of the leading field. This is leading. Okay, and this looks like leading, it's leading, which means the space is between the text. You want to change that down a little bit tighter. It's at 18 point right now, which is pretty wide. The spacing is pretty wide between the text lines. We're going to bring that down to 17. That's going to snug things a little bit more, and that is a very useful thing for placing text. So we've narrowed that up just a smidge. We're going to do some more work with that in a little bit, but right now you need to insert your cursor in the word Safari, or down in Safari Zoo. You can just double click, triple click, single click. You really only you want to triple click in there to, I'll get it right yet, to select both words. With the text selected, click the tracking icon in the character panel. So we're going to go back up to character again. This time we're going to find tracking. Tracking is the one below the leading, and we want to find a -50 right there. That tightens the text up. It changes the spacing between the characters. A positive value pushes those letters further apart. Did you see how close together these have become? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Type up top, or we could actually do this down here. We're going to go to uppercase. Now you have a choice. You can either go up here to Type, and you can select Change Case, uppercase, or we could have done the same thing through the character panel by selecting all caps. Now, With the selection tool, drag, you're going to pick up your selection tool now, you're going to get the text box and see how the text has wrapped and looks really odd. So now we're going to pick up that lower right-hand corner again and drag that up to get Safari on one line. So we now have Safari Zoo, and the text is back again on 2 lines. I know we're bopping all over the place. Double-click the text that begins with Thursdays at. So, well, I selected it. There we go. Double-clicking that to switch to the type tool. And we've got the cursor, and if you click the right number of times, you'll select all of that text. We are again changing the font size. We want to go up to 33 points. So I don't have a 33, but I have a 36, 35. I'm doing the down because I'm lazy and I don't feel like typing it in. And so that's hiding everything. We need to go back to the text or selection tool again, and we can now drag and make the text appear. So just drag down and to the right with that lower right corner, and you'll get your text back. Make sure that you get the 2 lines with Thursday at on one line and 6:30 on the other one. With the text object still selected, click the vertical scale icon. We want this to go taller. So here we go, back in the character palette panel, and we want the vertical scale, which you can tell very easily. It's got the arrow on it, and you can do the drop down on there. We don't have 125. We are 120. We have 110. Or you can click and drag across and type in 120. Okay, and I just accidentally closed the character panel, but you know, it's real easy to pick up again. So we're looking at that artboard. You can click off to the side to deselect. Now we're going to use the touch type tool, which is something relatively new. And we're going to select that. We can modify the properties of a character using a mouse cursor or touch controls. So if you have if you're working on a tablet, you have touch controls to use. It's a very visual way of working with the character formatting properties. You can shift your baseline, you can do scaling, rotation, and kerning. We're going to use the touch type tool to alter the appearance of the Zoo Tales headline at the top of the artboard. So let's zoom in on Zoo Tales. If you don't remember how to zoom, you can use Control and your space bar and zoom in, or use the zoom tool, and then with your selection tool, pick up the text that says Zoo Tales and select whatever font is listed in the font menu and type, which is, mine comes up Myriad Pro. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to do GAR. Oh, that's right, I want the Adobe, so I'm going to have to type ADOBEGGA, oops, space GAR, which is going to bring me up to Adobe Garamond. And you can use that, or you can use another font. We want bold to make it nice and blocky.